Welcome to I'm Just Saying Sports Talk. We're here to discuss sports related events and topics in a fun and insightful way. My name is Damon.
And I'm Kendrick.
Today's topic is the 2017 NBA Finals. Kendrick, would you like to start on this and give me some of your thoughts or some of your...
I will.
Cool.
I want to first start with the Western Conference.
All right.
I was checking out a few of the games since the playoffs had started. And it really looked like Golden State and Houston right now are the who's who from the West. Golden State, they swept Portland. Portland just didn't have enough with them. Houston, they ran through OKC. I felt sorry for Westbrook. It's my MVP.
I don't feel sorry for
I feel sorry for Westbrook. He just ain't had no help. Man, the dude like he wanted to cry the other night.
He said his best friend is Spalding. That's all the help he needs.
Hey, well, he proved it this year, but he at home right now. So San Antonio, they just don't look like. I think Pop era has ran out. Memphis is really balling right now, and you know Memphis isn't as strong as what they could be. You notice you mentioned Utah and the Clippers because they're not even in. They shouldn't even be in the conversation. But I do think that Golden State and Houston, that's going to be Western Conference Final, and that's going to be a good one.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't feel sorry for Westbrook. He was gunning.
He was.
He got his triple-double. He got his goal. And now maybe he'll understand that less is more. And I always think about Isaiah Thomas when I remember reading some things back in the day and reading and seeing some videos about different people that saw him play. And they talked about that. They said that we never saw Isaiah's complete game. That there were older people that said they saw him do things on the basketball court to this day that no one has seen since. But then they talked to Isaiah about it, and they said, we hear people are saying that you did a lot of things on the court that you didn't display in your NBA game. And Isaiah Thomas said, I sacrificed all that to win.
And we're talking about the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas.
That's right.
Not the new age Isaiah.
That's right. Good clarification.
Yeah.
So, for y'all youngsters that don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you think about it, sometimes the game is like cologne or perfume. Less is more.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think it can be that way. I remember Jordan talking about Dominique Wilkins in the Hawks days when they were facing them, and Dominique said, hey, if Dominique was scoring 40, we knew we were okay. But it was when he was scoring 24 points, 22 points, 26 is when they had to worry about the Hawks because they knew other people were involved. So that's all I really got to say about Brody.
But
I like his
sorry for the man.
I don't. Why should I? He don't feel sorry for himself.
When you let me ask you this then: when you playing spades, and this is the last hand.
Here you go.
And you got your opponents over there. If they bidding a 10, and your partner look at you, what you got, partner? I got 1 in a P. What that mean? 1 in a possible, right? That's all Westbrook got with him. That's all they got. Okay. 1 in a P.
Okay, this is why I don't feel sorry.
He ain't got no help, man.
This is why I don't feel sorry.
None.
Because this is why I don't feel sorry. And I blame this on the organization.
Ownership. I blame ownership.
You had they had Kevin Durant.
That's right.
And Harden. They had a 3-piece special.
Yes, sir.
I personally believe they should have bumped Westbrook to 2 guard when they were there.
And Harden.
Because you basically have 2 alpha males, which was Russell is more outspoken with his alpha maleness, his dominance.
Yeah.
But then you have Harden, who's 1 too.
Yeah.
And KD don't mind falling in line.
Yeah.
But I think if you would have bumped them over, I think they could have coexisted. Because this is my problem with the whole thing. Now, to keep Harden, they would have had to pay a luxury tax. right?
Should have paid it.
And they didn't want to do it. But who did they pay a luxury tax for this year? Enes Kanter.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me years later you're going to go and pay a luxury tax on a dude like that?
I guess they saw their mistake.
But they still made mistakes. They still lost
That's
KD.
Right. That's right.
So now I don't feel sorry because you have exactly.
Well, no.
They have exactly.
I didn't say I feel sorry for. Okay.
I don't feel sorry for Westbrook.
I
either.
feel sorry for Westbrook.
I don't feel sorry for him.
You hard.
He might be the MVP. He'd be the first MVP you felt sorry for.
You know
I don't feel sorry.
No, that's
for
the
him.
first MVP I think I felt sorry.
I don't.
Because you just see how hard that man played, though, man.
I don't care. Doesn't matter.
You're right. But the West, as like I said,
Okay.
the Golden State and Houston showed the who's who of the West.
In the West, I really think it's going to come down to experience, and I think the Spurs will come out. And I mean, not all the way. I mean, no. I don't.
Them boys
no,
old
no,
out
no.
there.
Huh?
They old out there.
No. I mean, I'm sorry. Out of the West, I mean, Golden State.
Oh, Golden State.
Golden State.
Okay.
Will come out.
Yeah.
You know, but I was talking about with Memphis.
Okay,
I think they're going to pull out over Memphis.
Yeah.
I think they'll get Memphis.
Yeah,
I think
they'll get Memphis.
Yeah. I think they're just on the all. You know, they're riding high right now. But I think the experience will bring them out of the series.
But Memphis, Marc Gasol, that is, has really showed his game to me this year.
He's let loose. He's let all his European skills come to light. I agree.
And all the junk I talked about, that money that Memphis gave to Michael Conley. I mean, I had like it was my money because I was like, how in the world he getting that much money? But Mike Conley has showed that he's worth it.
Well, you know what? I don't trip off the money no more because under the collective bargaining agreement, they have to spend the money.
Yeah.
You either spread it out into existing contracts.
Yeah.
You restructure some. So it's just that these players are in the right place at the right time where they have to spend the money. So, you know, you might as well find quality. I have no problem with it.
Let me clarify that a little bit. As far as spending the money on it, the reason why I was saying that because he just didn't, to me, it sound like he played with no passion.
Gotcha.
But this year, this young man has displayed some passion.
Yeah,
He is balling.
He's getting it in. He's getting it in.
And I think they're a piece away from being mentioned like Houston and Golden State. I think they one or two pieces away. But you're not going to do it with 40-year-old Vince Carter starting. Vince Sanity, my man though. He my man.
Listen, man.
And he still can get you 10 points a game, no matter what.
The basketball guys will not allow them to win with no 40-year-old dude starting.
You're right, but I'm just saying he's
if
playing
they
hard.
wouldn't do it with Karl Malone, he was close.
Yeah.
There is no way.
Yeah.
If they win with Vince Carter starting, it's officially wrestling. Rigged and fake. It will not happen.
Vince Sanity doing his thing though.
All right. And let me say this while it's on my mind. The East. I have nothing to say about the East. The East. Nothing? LeBron is the beast of the East. We already know who's coming out. There's nothing left to talk about. All those other teams look good playing against each other. But LeBron is clearly the best player in the East. He has the best team chemistry. You watch how different those teams look when they play Cleveland. It's nothing. He's the beast of the East, man.
But there's one team.
You gonna say the Bucks?
No.
Who?
There's one team in the East that really could give them problems if
Washington.
No.
Who?
If their big man played with some heart.
Who?
Atlanta. If Dwight
Atlanta not ready.
But because Dwight Howard ain't ready. And he ain't gonna never be ready.
Listen.
But I'm saying
them cookies came out the oven.
Yeah.
They been ready.
Yeah.
Sat on the counter.
Yeah.
And got cold.
But the reason why I say Atlanta, they got two brothers out there that's cold blooded that really can ball. And that's Schroeder and Millsap.
I understand that.
But if Dwight Howard
it's not gonna happen. Bron the beast of the East, man. Listen.
But they come out.
This is how whack the East. The East is so terrible that we already knew before one game was played this year that LeBron coming out of the East.
Yeah.
That's how terrible the East is.
Yeah.
The rest is just, it's like watching a pre-planned little soap opera.
Yeah.
We already know how it's gonna end.
You're right. But there's one team that Cleveland really cannot fool around with, and they don't really want to see them. Milwaukee.
Now,
I know they're 3-2
like,
right now with Toronto.
I like Milwaukee for the simple fact I like Dellavedova.
Oh,
I like that.
Dele.
I like
You
that.
like Dele.
I like Dellavedova is coming back.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in there, and this is my reason. They got rid of Dele just to find out later on they needed another playmaker. And what was Dellavedova? The pick and roll king with Tristan Thompson, making life easy. And then you go out
and
here
he was
and
scrappy on defense.
And he almost died on the court
That's right.
year before. Almost died out there.
Yeah.
So shout out to Dele. But then you go get old Deron Williams.
Yeah.
And you're gonna replay. You could have had Dele with youth.
Yeah.
And hustle. And he's a pick and roll expert.
Deron Williams ain't giving you no D.
Nothing. So
and he barely giving you any O.
Yeah, they lying on that dude. Yeah, the little threes he get, they lying on.
Yeah.
And then they keep going for the old man face. Yeah. Listen, they gotta stop going for the old man face. It's nothing but the fakes at the park.
That's all.
Every dude at the park drinking a 40 ounce know those moves he gonna do.
Yeah.
And they gotta stop falling for him.
Yeah.
So that's
all. Gonna give it to you.
That's all I have to say about the East. That's it.
That's it.
No, and so it's Golden State. We already knew this is going to happen before one game was played.
Yeah.
And that's just how this is the problem.
Now, but you can't say now the West is not a for sure thing with Golden State.
They're coming out of the West.
No, I think they should, but I don't know. I really can't say, man, because if you get you got a Harden out there who's dangerous.
I'm not saying they can't get a game.
And you got Lou Williams.
I'm talking about a series. The problem is a series.
Gordon.
They're not. It's no. Who's going to beat them in the series? That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. So we know who's going. Because everybody they're playing keep trying to outgun them. They keep trying to beat them at their game. That's Portland's problem.
Well, I can't wait to see Houston and Golden State. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be a great series. Cleveland, they're going to sleepwalk through to the finals.
You know what Golden State has that Houston doesn't have? Draymond Green.
Yes, sir.
That's the problem right there.
That is the issue.
That's the problem right there. But
they got one player. They got some dog in him now.
Don't say who I think you.
Patrick Beverley got some dog in him.
Yeah, but he's great at guarding guards.
And he's gonna shut Curry down.
Curry is gonna blaze that throw up.
He gonna shut Curry down. Their thing is they ain't got nobody to stop KD.
Look, Curry gonna blaze that throw.
Who gonna stop KD?
Nobody but his will, his own foot.
Who gonna stop Clay?
It's gonna be interesting. It's just gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be a shootout because they're gonna try to outshoot.
And then every night it's gonna be 130 to 105.
And they're gonna lose in the long haul trying to outgun.
Yeah,
they are the best at that.
It's gonna be 130 to 105.
So that's really all I have for that. But in the spirit of basketball. In the spirit of basketball. Folks, this is our first video. We have some SoundCloud audio for you, but this is the first video. So we gotta start this one out right. And I just gotta set the basketball world
on fire.
No, we gotta set it right.
Yeah, we do.
Because I believe there's a conspiracy to rewrite NBA history prior to Michael Jordan. I think there's a concerted effort to try and minimize the achievements prior to the Jordan era.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's the way that it's treated is like basketball started with Jordan. So I'm going to say this. Look at me. Michael Jordan is not the greatest NBA basketball player. Okay? Let's just get that straight right now. All right? And we're going to talk about this.
Don't y'all throw no tomatoes or eggs at your screen.
You know what I mean?
You can't hit us.
Kendra, you agree with me? Or you think differently?
I have to agree.
Okay, now, this is what I'm going to say. This is why I say it, because every time somebody is trying to make a case for Jordan, it's one or two things. He averaged 30. Let's talk about averaging 30. You know who else averaged 30? Wilt the Stilt. Wilt Chamberlain. Okay. Jordan played 15 years, right? Out of those 15 years, he averaged 30 points, over 30 or more for 8 of those years, okay? Wilt Chamberlain played 13 years, and out of those 13, 9 of those years, he averaged 30 or more.
That's right.
So he has Jordan by a year. Now here's the other side. So when you talk, if your case is that Jordan is the greatest because he averaged 30, well, we have Wilt here averaging 30 for 9 seasons, and Jordan averaging 30 for 8, at least 30. So those down years, when you average it out, still gives him 30. Now, this is the thing. Jordan had rest. Jordan went and played baseball, and Jordan retired. Wilt didn't have any rest.
He continued to play.
Wilt played straight through. On top of that, he had 20,000 partners. So now you tell me, that's what Wilt said, so now you put that on top of all that basketball he played.
Yeah.
On top of he averaged 30, just as long, but a year longer than Jordan. So if your case is on points, then I'm going to have to say Wilt. But that's not really what most people are saying. They say 6 rings.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
So they make winning the championship the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Well, let's just talk about Bill Russell. Bill Russell played how many years? 13.
That's right.
Out of the 13 years, 11 championships. And 2 of them as coach. So 11 out of 13 years playing, 2 as coach. So if you're going to talk about the reason he's the greatest is because he has 6 rings, I don't want to hear nothing about no 3-peat.
That's right.
Listen, then Russell is the greatest. So let's stop acting like basketball started with Michael Jordan. Now, is he influential? Yes. Is he probably the most popular? Yes. Has he sold the most shoes? Yes.
That's right.
So then say that. Don't say he's the greatest. You can say he's the most popular, the most highly recognized. He sold the most shoes. He's in Space Jams.
He's one of the greatest.
You know, he won the dunk contest. He's one of the greatest. The most I will give you is maybe he's the greatest of his era or when he played.
Yeah.
But if you want to say all time and you want to say winning, Bill Russell is the gold standard. So let's stop acting like basketball started with Michael Jordan. Stop saying he's the greatest of all time. And I'm saying this because if you're not careful and you dismiss what Bill Russell did, eventually Jordan is going to be, you know, he's going to leave here one day, and 30 years from now, someone's going to dismiss his 6 rings.
That's right.
And just like LeBron, eventually LeBron is going to look like, their footage is going to look like watching that black and white footage, and then you're only going to acknowledge the people that you see. And I understand when you're living and you see it, and you feel like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread because you were alive to see it, but it doesn't mean that it started there, and it doesn't take away or diminish what someone has done prior. So let's just stop trying to make whatever happens in our life the greatest thing. No, it's great. It's the greatest for an era, but the gold standard, if you're going to talk winning, if that's the argument for Jordan, then it's Bill Russell.
Right.
If it's scoring, then hey, arguably it could be Wilt Chamberlain too.
That's
so,
because 30 and 22, they ain't nothing to sneeze at.
No, 30 and 22 is nothing to sneeze at. And then
that's Wilt.
That's Wilt. Yeah,
career stats.
That's right. So that's what I would say. So I think the narrative on Jordan needs to change a little bit. There's no fault of his own. He just let y'all roll with it.
Yeah.
He'll take it. He's not gonna correct you too often, but let's get this right.
Has he ever corrected anybody on it?
Well, when you pin him down, he won't put himself above those guys.
Okay.
But he'll let the rest of the world do it.
Yeah.
And you know, and I understand the need of the NBA to make itself relevant to the current watcher, so they want to make people feel like the best of what the league has had to offer has happened in recent history.
Yeah.
But it's not true, and it's a crying shame because baseball's a little bit better now. They do Hank Aaron dirty and some other players. You know, I'm not letting them all the way off the hook. But for the most part, because they're so history-oriented that they don't let you forget and just discount
That's right.
what some of these guys have done.
That's right.
And basketball fans and young people, you got to respect what came before you and stop knocking it just because what you see is great in front of you. You got to put it in, you know, in perspective, because eventually the people you love, if you allow that to happen, they're going to do it to the player you like and discount it.
That's right.
And kick it to the curb.
That's right.
So that's one of the fundamental things with this talk show is that we're telling you, you've been told. They've been told.
They've been told.
Jordan is not the greatest.
And even if you want to talk about the greatest,
feel free to leave your comments and tell me what you think.
That's right.
Tell us what you think. But I'm here to tell you, he's not the greatest. He's one of the greatest. He's the greatest of the time that he played.
Yeah, he is. And it took me a while to really grasp that too, because you know, growing up, all we saw was Jordan this, Jordan that.
He's popular,
and and not only just popular, he is a great ball player.
No, he's the great. I mean, he's a great. But it's not taking
great ball player,
right?
And we never had a chance to really see Wilt and Bill play much. But when you go back in and look at the stats, and that's what everybody want to look at, your winning percentage and your career stats. And if you want to say who's the greatest, Mike don't. He's up there with those guys. But like Damon was saying, Bill Russell, I mean, 11 championships. That is, it's big.
And I don't want to hear about, and I don't want to hear about the era and all that stuff. But if you're gonna say all time,
that's right.
Whatever criteria you're applying, you're gonna have to apply it across history.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
And you can't, you can't talk about the era much, because if we want to talk about the era, we could say, okay, well, Bill Russell didn't have the type of athletes on his team that Michael Jordan had to help him win those championships.
But the thing is this, right? We knew he was a great athlete. Most great athletes played to the level of the competition whenever they were born.
Yeah.
You know, if wherever you're born, you're gonna play the style and adapt to whatever you're around. That's what a great athlete does. Their game would look different based on whatever workouts that people do now, whatever nutrition, all of that stuff. So that all I'm saying is, without going too much further, is that listen, if that's the criteria you're using, is winning, and you keep counting them 6 rings, like I always hear, LeBron, I'm chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan. Okay, first catch Kobe's ghost.
Yeah,
he got 5.
Kobe has 5.
That he, wasn't a slack 5 where he was just on the team. So catch that ghost. Then catch Jordan, but the ultimate, if they're the ghost, then Bill Russell is the phantom. Then what about the phantom?
You got a point there.
But see, you know why? Because they know that one is so far out there that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, 11.
So next, so you want to discount it and say no, it's something.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where I'm at with MJ. Feel free to leave comments. Feel free to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud.